The two main objectives in lesson 0-1 is for us to be able to define the concepts of a relation and a function. So there are two basic vocabulary words there, relation and function. And then the second thing is, once we have a relation and function, we want to be able to identify the domain and range of a relation and function. So there are four basic ideas here we're looking at. We've got to get in mind what a relation is, what a function is, and then what the domain and the range of functions and relations are. So those are our objectives. Those are things we're trying to review in this lesson. So we're going to focus in, first of all, on the relation. They say recall. This means we know this, and we're supposed to remember. So we're saying remember what a relation is. A relation is just a set of ordered pairs. A relation builds a relationship between an input value, which is typically known as your x, and an output value, which we typically generalize as y. So a relation is a set of input and output values mathematically. So the x's are your inputs, the y's are your outputs. Now the domain, this is one of our main vocabulary words. The domain is a relation, or domain of a relation is the set of all the first coordinates, the x coordinates from the ordered pairs. So in essence, when we get all said and done, the domain are your x values, your input values. And the range is a term that is given to the set of all the second coordinates, the y values, from the set of ordered pairs. So keep in mind a relation is a set of ordered pairs. In an ordered pair, we call it an ordered pair because it always comes in the same order. The x values come first and the y values come second. So when we start to generalize these things about an ordered pair, an ordered pair has this central theme. The x's should come first and the y's should come second. They're always in the same order because they're ordered, and they always come in a pair, so there's going to be two of them, x's and y's. Well, x's are known as your inputs, and the y's are your outputs in a relation. When we build a relationship, we have things that go in, values that go in, and then we have things that come out called outputs. So a relation builds a relationship between the inputs and the outputs based on a rule. It could be a linear, or quadratic, or an exponential rule, inputs and outputs. Now the terminology that we're supposed to link to all this are these two terms. It's called the domain and the range. So these are fancy words, just vocabulary that we're trying to get under our belt. We need to speak the language of math, then we will speak the language of domain and range. So in our first example, it says state the domain and range of the relation. And keep in mind what a relation was. A relation was nothing more than a set of ordered pairs. So one of the things we want to do in this one, according to our directions, is state the domain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list all the things in the domain, and I'm going to list all of the things in the range. So here's what we're going to do. Here's a relation, a set of ordered pairs. So all I got to do is grab all of the x values. So my domain is going to be the set of -3, 0, 1, and 2, because those are the inputs. The ranges then are nothing more than the y values or the outputs. So in this set, we want to grab all of these second values, 3, -7, -5, and 4. Okay, so in this example, we're trying to get down three of our main vocabulary words. A relation, a set of ordered pairs that builds a relationship between inputs and outputs. And then the vocabulary word is domain and range. Domain is your input of your x value, the first value in your ordered pair, and the range is your y value or your outputs with a second value in your ordered pair. So it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting comfortable with some terminology.